I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase mo money, mo problems, but today in this video, we're gonna explore some of the aspects of pumping where more is not always better either. I hope you find some wisdom and guidance in this video on how to make this whole process of being a pumping working mom a little easier. If you are a breastfeeding mom returning to work, please subscribe to this channel because we post videos every week on pumping, specifically to help those who are working, either at home, outside the office, wherever you are. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on those videos every week. Okay, so let's just dive in. The first thing on my list is more suction is not always better. Okay, so this is an important part because a lot of times I see moms looking for breast pumps with the highest suction that they can find, or they're turning the suction way up, kind of to the level where they can tolerate the pain. This is not always going to give you more milk. In fact, it can do the opposite by restricting some of those ducts. The pain that you're feeling with pumping as well, and just even if it's discomfort, can inhibit milk letdowns, which is you're not going to get as much milk. So more suction is not always better. And if you've been on this channel before, you'll know that we're talking about breast pump reviews, very data driven and in a different way than a lot of people. And you'll know if you've watched some other videos. If not, then I'll put some down below for you to check out, that the suction of a pump is not the only thing you should consider. In fact, it's only one tiny piece of the puzzle. So more suction does not always equal more milk. On that same line, more breast pumps are not always better. And I don't know if I want to talk because I think I have over 70 breast pumps sitting over there in my closet. But again, this is my full-time job. So what I tend to see happen a lot is a mom will buy a breast pump, or maybe two, got like a wearable one and a traditional one on the table, and they'll use it and they're not getting the output that they need. So they're like, it's got to be the pump, and they buy another pump. And that pump's also not giving them the output that they're expecting or wanting in a time frame that's acceptable to them. So they buy another pump and another pump. You'd be surprised how many moms come to work with me inside my program or apply for our program, and they have 5, 6, 7 pumps. And if you do the math on that, these pumps are between, $200 to $500. Like, you're spending $1,500 on breast pumps before you even seek out help from an expert. Like, I don't get that. But if you've tried a few different breast pumps and you're still not getting the results that you're looking for, something else is going on. And that's where really learning how to pump efficiently and effectively is going to be your best friend. It would be way better to invest your money in some help to do that than to buy more pumps. So more pumps is not always better. If you're the kind of person that just loves buying pumps and trying new pumps, more power to you, and you're definitely on the right channel too. Okay, next up is more pumping sessions are not always better. And this might seem like a counterintuitive idea because one of the things that you can do to help increase your milk supply is pump more often. And if you're not pumping enough, that can give you low supply. So you obviously need to pump more. So there is a really fine line here, but pumping 10 to 12 times a day may help your milk supply, but also I want to know why you're doing that. If you're pumping so much that your life is just filled with pumping all the time, that's not necessarily a good thing. That either tells me that one, pumping is not going efficiently, like you're having to add in more pumping sessions to even get the milk out that you need, and that's a huge problem and a huge waste of time, and I don't want that for you. Or you have a huge oversupply, or you're trying to get an oversupply. And again, no judgment here, but you really have to keep in mind what your goals are. And more pumping sessions throughout the day may be like a band-aid to a solution. It also might be the actual solution. Like if you come to me and say, like, I'm pumping 5 times a day, why do I not have enough milk? I'm gonna say, well, you probably need to pump a little bit more until it's proven that you can do less, which we actually do have some moms in our program that are pumping less than you would think because we really understand the process and we've figured out that their milk supply can handle that. And that's a thing. But more pumping sessions are not always better. Sometimes they are, but please don't wear yourself out pumping so much that you burn out and quit and don't meet your goals. I don't want that for you. Next up is more cookies are not always better. And this is a really common thing. I think we're seeing a little bit more information about lactation cookies and herbs and supplements out there now, but you'd be surprised how many people come, to our team saying they have low milk supply and they've tried cookies, they've tried teas, they've tried brownies, they've tried, fenugreek, brewer's yeast, they're eating oatmeal 3 times a day, like all the galactagogue things in the world, and it's just not working. And I'm like, that's so weird. Also, lactation cookies are expensive. And I have a friend who sells lactation cookies for her business, and I love her, and I love what she's doing out there too, you know, but this is not the solution. More cookies, more calories, more of that is not always a better thing. And in fact, it's really like band-aiding a problem. There's an underlying problem that we got to figure out. I'm not sure that that is sustainable long-term, both financially, for your health, postpartum weight, all of these things. And your milk supply just is not going to hang in there, unfortunately. More water is not always better either. This is a common recommendation that I see on social media, blogs, Facebook posts, things like that, is make sure you're getting enough water. You're drinking over 100 ounces every day, or, you know, up to a gallon of water and stuff. And this is a good idea to stay hydrated. I will say that. And some mothers do see a really big fluctuation in their hydration levels. And if they go down a little bit, they notice it in their milk supply. But for the most part, drowning yourself in water can actually be a detriment to your milk supply. So the general guidelines that I usually give is drink to thirst, and make sure that you're paying attention to how much you're drinking. A lot of times we think we're drinking, and then if you actually track it for the day or fill up your water bottle and try and get through it, you'll realize, wow, I was not drinking as much as I thought I was. So have a realistic and self-aware moment. Say, how much am I really drinking? But please do not kill yourself or drown yourself in drinking so much water that you're actually causing all of the nutrients and the electrolytes in your body to get out of whack, because that can be a problem. So please don't feel like you have to be drinking over 100 ounces every day to keep your milk supply. It's just not true. It made me thirsty. I need a drink. More milk is not always better either. And this can be a little bit of a controversial topic, but shooting for an oversupply may or may not actually fit into your lifestyle and your goals. There are problems that come with an oversupply of milk. And I'm not talking about a few extra ounces a day that you're saving in the freezer to build your freezer stash. Like, that's awesome, and I want that for you, especially as a working mom. Like, that's great. What I'm talking about is massive oversupplies, or if we're actually trying to do that on purpose. And there are some benefits to that. You might be able to stop pumping early, or you might be able to donate to other babies, or you might be able to build up a freezer stash so you can travel or do a trip or something like that. So there are definitely reasons to do that, but there are also problems that come with that, especially if you are mostly breastfeeding and you're pumping on top of this and you have an oversupply. Sometimes an oversupply happens and there's nothing you can do about it. There's like, you didn't do anything wrong. But if you created this on purpose, just know that you're always going to have to take care of that. You're always going to have to be pumping a little bit off. You're always going to have to take that pump with you to do this problem, even if you have your baby at the breast. Does that make sense? So for working moms who are relying like half and half on pump and baby for the most part, this is less of an issue because you're just pumping more often anyway. But more milk is not always better. So just be cautious and, again, aware of what your goals are, what your lifestyle is like. Does this actually fit into what you're trying to do specifically? And then go from there. Now, there are a few things that are better when you have more of them when we're breastfeeding and pumping. And I want to cover a couple of those really quickly. The first one I can think of is more sleep. And if you are tired and exhausted watching this video, or if you're pregnant and anticipating life with a newborn, you can probably relate to this. More sleep is always better, right? There's just no amount of sleep we can ever catch up on to feel rested as mothers, especially new mothers with babies. So this gets tricky when we're adding milk production into this equation as well, right? Because we know that pumping and feeding at night is a great way to maintain milk supply. And in fact, it's likely very necessary that you continue to express milk through the night, especially for the first 12 weeks. And potentially even beyond that too. So I don't want you to hear 12 weeks and just say like, I can stop at 12. That's not necessarily the case. Depends on your milk supply, your milk storage capacity, what you're trying to accomplish. And it's usually best to kind of work with a professional to figure out when you actually can drop that pumping session at night or feeding, whatever. But we want you to get there, right? And so what I do inside my program is I help moms figure out, can your milk supply tolerate this? And which pumping session can we drop first? And how do we do that in the most effective way? So that's one of my favorite things to see is, especially working moms, getting more sleep. You need it. Another thing that I like to see you have more of is confidence. I really hope that you've found some education and some knowledge and some confidence here on this channel, because we love giving away information for free to help you pump better, faster, and efficiently. Like, that's our goal. And that's a huge goal inside of our private coaching program too, Pumping for Working Moms. Pumping is just so much more than the pump, right? It goes beyond putting it on, making it all work, and the logistics. A lot of the pumping experience is mental and emotional too. And having the confidence that you're pumping right, that you're doing everything you possibly can, even if it's hard, which it likely will be, even if it's inconvenient in your life, having that confidence that you're doing it correctly can be a game changer in the way you feel about the experience. You might make it to that 1 year goal just like the mom next to you, but if you feel confident that you were doing it right, that you weren't having daily anxiety, that you had someone there to help you and this other one didn't, even though you both hit your goals, you're going to look back and talk about that very differently. So make sure that you are confident in what you're doing and that you're not anxious and stressed all the time that you're doing something wrong, that your milk supply is suffering. I want you to have more confidence that will help you look back on this journey with a more positive outlook. Another thing I want for you is more brain space. Now, be honest with me. How many videos have you already just spent binge watching about pumping? How many blogs have you read? How many Google searches have you done trying to answer your questions? I mean, I'm thankful that you're here and watching videos, so please subscribe while you're at it. But also, I know it takes a lot of brain space to kind of piece this all together from random sources on the internet. And everyone kind of has a different opinion. Everyone has a different specialty. You know, a lactation consultant with a tongue tie specialty is going to see that a lot more just because they're trained to see it than someone who specializes in, you know, health and diet. They're going to really be a lot more in that field. So I want you to have just an organized plan and curriculum to make this easier, because you don't have time to be Googling and trying to piece it all together on your own. Can you do it? Maybe you can figure it all out and like muddle together. Again, it's that end in mind. Do you want to get across that finish line and be burnt out and exhausted? Or do you want just like a plan and then just move along? That's another thing that we offer inside of our program, is just like a step-by-step guide so that you can do it. I'll actually put a freebie down below in the description as well, which I think that you'll like, especially if you've enjoyed the content on this video and others on our channel, to give you some more reference on how to do this. You know, having that step-by-step plan can be really helpful. So I'll put a freebie down below in the description for you as well. And lastly, I want you to have more access to specific help. And what I mean by that is there's a reason that we have focused on serving breastfeeding and pumping working moms. And I get messages pretty often like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I don't work, but can you help? And I want to help everybody and I want to help you too. But having a curriculum and a community and a program very specific makes it so that we can serve our specific person to a much higher level, and we can get you to your goal faster and bigger and easier because we're so focused on this one thing. I'm going to keep making videos on YouTube because I love giving away free content and I love helping you. Even if you don't quite fit the person that's inside of our program, I'm going to keep helping and doing what I can there. But if you are the person that we help the most, which is a working mom who is career driven and who has long-term breastfeeding goals, and you're utilizing a pump to get there, come and get some help. Come and see what we have inside. You can schedule a call with our team. There's a link down below. There's a video there too you can watch for more information to figure out what we do and why we do it and who we serve. We just want to make sure that you're a good fit to come and join us and to work with me. I would love to meet you. This is actually the only way that I work with moms is inside my private coaching program, which I love. And there's more videos on the channel kind of explaining what I do, but I want more for you. I want you to have more of the things in your life that you actually love. I want you to have more peace, more confidence, and I want you to have the milk that you need for your baby. So if that's something you need and you want some help, reach out and let me know. Otherwise, I'll put another video up top here that I think you'll enjoy. Go ahead and check the description for all the other resources we have, paid or not. You can, we're here to serve. And we'll see you on the next video. Happy pumping.